In a world where tensions are heating up like never before, we find ourselves on the brink of a potential global conflict. The year is 2024, and the global political climate is more volatile than ever. Let's take a look at the major global players and their roles in this intricate dance of power. First, we have the United States, a nation that's seen its fair share of internal and external challenges. With a strengthening dollar and the expectation of higher interest rates, the US is having a significant impact on global markets, especially in Asia. Moving east, we have China, a powerhouse in its own right. Despite mixed economic data, it remains a formidable player on the global stage. However, recent downturns in the stock market and foreign investors selling large-cap growth stocks have raised eyebrows and caused ripples of concern across the world. Further north, we have Russia, a nation that has always been a wild card in global politics. While it has been relatively quiet in recent times, its potential role in any future conflict cannot be overlooked. Then there's the European Union, a collective of nations that often finds itself in the middle of major global events. With its diverse and complex political landscape, the EU has the potential to tip the scales in one direction or another. Lastly, we have emerging markets, such as those in Asia. Recent declines in Asian equities, particularly in Hong Kong, are creating a sense of unease. The unwinding of certain financial products like the callable bull-bear contracts has led to a market decline that has the world watching closely. This is the stage upon which our recent news events are set, each one contributing to the escalating tensions. On January 17, 2024, Asian equities took a significant hit. Expectations of higher US interest rates and a strengthening US dollar led to a ripple effect across Asian markets. Investors reacted, and not in a good way. In the midst of this economic turmoil, Hong Kong's market saw a sharp decline. The culprit, the unwinding of something known as callable bull-bear contracts, or CBBCs. Now, these are akin to structured products, and here's the kicker. There was a noticeable lack of buyers for these contracts. This lack of interest led to a situation known as forced selling, which only exacerbated the market decline. The Hang Seng Index, one of Hong Kong's most significant market indicators, dropped rapidly, but it didn't stop there. Other popular indices across Asia felt the shockwaves of this economic downturn. Calls for the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and regulators to take immediate action echoed throughout the financial world. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Despite facing significant demographic challenges, Japan and South Korea managed to keep their stock markets performing relatively well. Yet, mainland China's market also experienced a decline, with foreign investors selling large-cap growth stocks. The Hang Seng and Hang Seng Tech indices took significant hits, with sectors such as real estate, materials and discretionary being the most affected. Other major markets in Shanghai, Shenzhen and the Starboard also saw declines, with staples, discretionary and real estate sectors feeling the pinch. Amid all this, the US dollar strengthened, treasury bonds rallied and copper and steel prices increased. It's a complex web of interconnected economic events, each influencing the other in a myriad of ways. The instability in Asian markets is a contributing factor in the growing tensions with potential global implications. As we delve further into the year 2024, the world watches with bated breath to see how these financial tremors will play out on the global stage. Meanwhile, in the United States, the political landscape is shifting. The aftermath of the midterm elections has witnessed Republican gains in Congress, a change that could have profound implications for President Biden's global agenda. Biden's foreign policy, particularly his stance on Ukraine, is expected to face some headwinds. There's a growing skepticism among Republicans about US support for Ukraine, with some voices advocating for an end to aid. However, strong bipartisan support for Ukraine persists, suggesting that Biden's broad authority in foreign affairs might soften these pressures. This Republican control of the House doesn't just pose challenges for Biden's foreign policy, it also raises the specter of potential investigations into the president's handling of international affairs. Matters of focus could include the administration's approach to Afghanistan and immigration. These investigations, if they materialize, could serve as a significant distraction, drawing attention away from the administration's priorities. They could also drain valuable time and resources, potentially hampering the government's ability to respond effectively to international crises. The implications of this political shift extend beyond the borders of the United States. Biden's foreign policy has been instrumental in shaping the global political climate, and any constraints on his ability to implement this policy could have far-reaching effects. This shift in political power could further fuel the brewing international tensions. These events, among others, have brought us to a precipice. As we stand at the edge, we can't help but see the potential for conflict, fueled by the events we've discussed. The Asian market instability, for instance, has created a ripple effect on global economies. The unwinding of Hong Kong's callable bull-bear contracts, the strengthening of the US dollar and the decline in Asian currencies is a recipe for economic tension. As we've seen historically, economic strife often precedes larger conflicts. Meanwhile, the shift in the US political landscape further adds to the complexity. With a Republican-controlled House, President Biden could face significant challenges in advancing his global agenda. This may strain international relationships, especially in areas requiring urgent attention, like Ukraine. The possibility of investigations into the administration's handling of international affairs could also create internal distractions, diverting attention from global issues that need immediate resolution. If we consider these factors together, we see how they might contribute to a World War III scenario in 2024. Economic instability may lead to desperate measures, while political shifts could result in policy changes that provoke or escalate conflicts. And with the world more interconnected than ever, any spark could ignite a larger conflagration. But it's important to remember that these are potential outcomes. They are not set in stone. The future is shaped by the decisions we make today. Leaders can choose diplomacy over confrontation, cooperation over competition. They can work to stabilize economies, build bridges instead of walls, and promote peace over war. The world watches, waits, and wonders. Will we step back from the brink, or will we plunge into conflict? In 2024, the world finds itself at a critical juncture. We've journeyed through the global political climate, the instability in the Asian markets, the shift in the US political landscape, and the looming potential for conflict. The world stage is set with a myriad of complex factors, each contributing its own weight to the balance of global stability. In Asia, we've seen how the unwinding of Hong Kong's callable bull-bear contracts has created a ripple effect, leading to a significant decline in Asian equities. The strengthening US dollar and the expectation of higher interest rates have added further pressure on the Asian markets. China's mixed economic data, Japan and South Korea's demographic challenges, and the selling off of mainland stocks by foreign investors all weave into this intricate tapestry of economic uncertainty. Turning towards the United States, we've observed how the recent political shift following the midterm elections could potentially constrain President Biden's ability to achieve his foreign policy goals. The growing skepticism among Republicans about US support for Ukraine and the potential for a Republican-controlled House raises concerns about the administration's handling of international affairs. And then there's the elephant in the room, the potential for conflict. Each of these elements, coupled with the escalating tensions around the globe, hint at the possibility of a World War III scenario in 2024. The implications of such a scenario would be far-reaching and undoubtedly devastating. This is not a prophecy or a prediction, but an exploration of the current state of affairs. It's a complex puzzle with many moving parts, and the picture it forms is still coming into focus. As we navigate these turbulent times, it is crucial for us to stay informed and understand the forces at play. For now, we can only hope for a peaceful resolution to these escalating tensions.